The National Assembly resumed after the 2-month break, and they seem to be, well, some saying, the manner of speaking, firing on some cylinders because they think that some matters were excluded. But the House of Representatives also, alongside their Senate counterparts, came up with some resolutions speaking about the 5,000 naira note and sundry matters. Let's take a look at that.
After they began their recess, federal lawmakers returned and commenced a new legislative session. Expectedly, they considered some national issues that had occurred while they were on recess.
We believe strongly that in the 21st century,
the planned restructuring of the Nigerian currency by the central bank was the first issue on the order paper.
This makes voting more.
The lawmakers questioned the stance of the Apex Bank on the matter, despite the concerns raised by some Nigerians.
And positions on
Nigerians have spoken with one voice. Majority of Nigerians are against the policy, but in a very frightening arrogance and affront, the central bank says there is no go back on this policy.
The introduction of 5,000 notes as a bill is an invitation to anarchy. It's a deliberate attempt to put Nigeria on a queue for economic firing squads.
The chairman of the House Committee on Banking, however, outlined some steps being taken by the committee.
After that, we had also had a discussion with the Senate Committee on Banking, and we felt that the best way out of this was to have a joint sitting of both committees, to have them come and give us a full presentation of their intention to introduce the 5,000 naira note. That is where we are at.
Motion was then put to a vote.
As amended. Those in favor of the motion as amended, say aye. Aye. Those against, say nay. The ayes have it.
The House resolved that its Committee on Banking investigate the matter and report back in 4 weeks. The CBN has also been told to suspend all processes on the issue pending the investigation of the House.
On the capital market.
The next motion questioned President Goodluck Jonathan's refusal to terminate the appointment of the Director General of the Securities and Exchange Commission in line with a House resolution.
Mr. President, recall Ms. Aruma Ote from suspension immediately. The report of the ad hoc committee which indicted her was made public. In a flagrant contempt of the House of Representatives and the feelings of the Nigerian people, an investor who lost money in the capital market.
The motion was passed without a debate. A request is to be sent to the President to urge him to implement the House resolution on the matter. The House says it will not also recognize or deal with Ms. Ote as a Director General of the Commission. The House of Representatives has always had issues with the way the executive treats its resolutions, most of which are not implemented. In 14 days' time, they say they will revisit the matter of the resignation of the SEC DG. Their next step will depend on the president's next move. Lanre Lasese, Channels Television News.
Well, we're joined now by Zakari Mohammed, who is the Chairman, House Committee on Media. He joins us from Abuja. Good morning, and thank you for joining us. Well, it has always been said, it is there, that the resolutions of the House doesn't have the force of law, and then the House comes up with one of such again, except that the Senate joins in this one. How does the House intend to carry this through to the extent that the executive arm of government will listen to them?
Yeah, thank you very much. I just want to start by saying that as much as possible, each time we have issues like this, sympathizers of the executive and, of course, the executive arm of government, we hurriedly say that our resolutions, our motions don't have a force of law. But let's wind back the tape a bit. I remember on the doctrine of necessity in this country, the same legislature was approached. And, of course, our resolution at that time was obeyed. We believe that we cannot have different approaches or different compliance with law. So as far as we're concerned, the parliament is a creation of law. So whatever comes out from there, what exactly forms law? The basis of laws, our laws are formed by bills, by our resolutions, by our motions. The Constitution is made up of these three ingredients. So to begin to harp on it and looking for escape routes at every opportunity, I think is regrettable. And I want to say that as leaders in our rights and at the other arms of government too, leadership is about history and not about excuses. The earlier we realize this, the better for the Nigerian nation. But for us, the National Assembly, the Senate, and of course the House of Representatives, since we came in the 7th Assembly, we have definitely been on the same page on a lot of national issues. So this, of course, will definitely come, and I know that our resolutions, our conclusions, and of course our motions will definitely have be respected, in spite of the fact that they will say it does not have the force of law. Okay, but the thing is, we've got people who will ask you, because the same thing happened with the FRSC, where the House spoke up, the Senate spoke up. They only, to some extent, from what people thought, only ended up delaying it for a while, because eventually they came back on stream and continued from where they left off. What's the guarantee that this one, because some Nigerians flatly say no to it, is the House eventually, after the CBN, maybe if it shows up, explains to the House, will the House perhaps possibly say, all right, go ahead, even though some say no? So we are guided by the interest of Nigerians. You don't forget that we were on recess when this 5,000 naira note was introduced. The idea was being mooted and introduced, and of course a launch date was put in place. We have all inputs from our constituencies. If CBN on one breath is telling us we want to run a cashless economy, why would you go and want to print 5,000 naira notes again? That's the question, and that's what our constituents are asking. That's what Nigerians are asking us. Why this contradiction? So I think for us, our resolution is very clear that it's not necessary for now. What agenda are we setting? The technicalities, as they have explained, for us does not add up. And at the end of the day, we're saying that whatever is in the best interest of our constituents, they cannot be as close to Nigerians as we are to them. So that's exactly what we have come to tell them. That look, our employers, Nigerian people, have told us this they are not comfortable with. The Senate and the House of Representatives came and spoke in one voice. This idea is not necessary for now. So I'm sure that as this goes back, there are very clear indications that the idea will definitely not stay true. Yeah.